Hey, partner, I think you're in my seat there. Come on now. Don't be unreasonable. All I want is the seat. I guess I could take it by force.
Another day, another PSVR2 game to talk about, and today's is one that has kept the ball rolling this week in terms of good PSVR2 releases. First of all, we had Little Cities, and now we have Paint the Town Red VR, and overall, this game is exactly what I thought it was going to be, and is incredibly fun. I'm going to break it down into a couple categories like I always do and talk about my general impressions of the game. I played through all its modes, bar running through the entire roguelite mode because it is quite long and I just haven't had the time among other things I've been doing, but I have sunk quite a lot of time into it to get a feel for the game, how it runs, how it plays, and overall whether I think it's worth it or not. So without further ado, let's talk about Paint the Town Red VR. First things first, as usual, it's the visuals. We got to talk about them, and luckily, even though this game I don't think at the moment uses dynamic foveated rendering, it looks pretty lovely. Close and far away objects look perfectly good, edges are sharp without any aliasing, and although I wouldn't say it's quite as sharp as, say, Ancient Dungeon VR, which is a game that does use DFR as this one doesn't, it still looks very, very sharp and all of its locales are perfectly good to look at, even though the voxel-based art style isn't going to be the most realistic. The game also runs as smooth as butter, no matter how many enemies are on screen, no matter what ragdoll physics is going on. I never had a frame drop, I never had a crash in any of my time playing the game, which is a big thumbs up. I know a lot of these games that are physics intensive can crash a lot, didn't run into any of those problems here with Paint the Town Red VR, and trust me, there's a lot of fun physics going on here and a lot of ragdoll physics that made this very enjoyable to play, but I'll get onto that a bit more in a minute.
Oh, okay. Oh! Yeah! Holy shit!
Now we gotta talk about the main gameplay loop of the game as well, which is, well, essentially beating people up with both your fists and items. Now the game gives you your arms as they usually are, but extends your reach by quite a bit. I found this a little bit off-putting at first when I first put the headset on, but after about 5 minutes you get used to the new length of your arms in the VR space, and it does allow you to have very good reach against enemies and pull off some really fun combos with hits that you're performing on them.
I play Blade and Sorcery, I know what I'm doing. Oh, my hands are very, wide. My hands are a lot forward, my hand in real life. Okay, wait, let me just... So that's my body. That's my elbow. So my elbow in real life is here, but in the game it's here. My hand in real life is here. I guess it's not too much further forward. It's about another, half a foot.
Each fight you have takes place either in an arena you can kind of customize in terms of what you want thrown at you, or across various scenarios like a biker club, a disco, a pirate cove, a prison break that was incredibly fun,
oh, ow, okay, well that worked.
The list goes on, and each of them have their own unique enemies that are skinned differently and a couple that play differently, like riot shield guards that will come over at the end of the prison break and try and take you down.
Oh my god, he has a riot shield. I'm so fucked. That's a big boy, holy shit.
Enemies with tasers, there'll be flintlock pistols and cutlasses on the pirate levels.
Oh, this is going to be a sad end for these pirates. They've been fighting, they decided, you know what, we'll meet up, we'll gang up on him, and then I pumped them into the ocean with an oar.
And also some interactive objects around the map, like the cannons on the pirate level, that's really fun to play through.
Holy shit, that's cool.
But each of the levels are really fun to run around in, immersing yourself in, being in a saloon and having a saloon bar fight, or being part of a hectic prison break. And the levels don't just start with you mindlessly beating up people either. They start off calm, which I really appreciated. You can kind of immerse yourself in this little world, walk around, have a little look around at different places and where you will be fighting in before you even throw a punch, and the fight then starts when you throw that punch. And even though it sounds a little bit silly to say maybe about this little game that has the voxel art style and isn't realistic, but it does help me immerse myself in these locations when these character models are actually just going about their day before the fight even starts. There'll be somebody playing an instrument in the saloon, or somebody lifting weights or eating in the prison canteen, and then once the fight starts, everyone jumps up and, well, has a big scrap, which is what we're here for. Speaking of which, what is it actually like? Well, incredibly impactful and disgusting.
How many can I have? A couple.
If the game wasn't voxel based, I don't think this level of gore could get past any rating system, but as it stands, it is an incredibly brutal but fun melee system, including a couple of ranged weapons.
Holy shit. Okay.
Which also make use of the adaptive triggers on the sense controllers, which is very, very appreciated, although they're by far the least satisfying to use. It's the melee weapons here that really pack a punch and make you feel like you're viscerally cutting into people, because you really do. People can go flying in half, their arms, their heads, their legs can all come off. It is an absolutely brutal time and very much comparable to the flat screen version of Paint the Town Red.
This is great. Ow.
The enemies that you're actually having a fight with are mainly just normal humans. They're people, albeit dressed up for each location that you're fighting in throughout the scenarios. But if you head into the roguelite mode, which is a whole nother mode alongside the rest of the game, you'll be facing off against some more ancient dungeony type enemies. You'll have some bandits, some undead down there, some floating skull creatures, some little goblin men, and some horrendous little priest dudes, and also some ice crystal monsters. There's a lot here that, honestly, I didn't expect this game to have in terms of the roguelite mode, because it genuinely has quite a lot of content packed into it for a mode that I thought was just going to be bare bones. But no, the roguelite mode here, called Beneath, I believe, allows you to use a variety of different weapons that you don't see in the scenarios, fight new enemies, explore new locations in the caves below. It even has a nice hub area at the start for you to explore, which I did spend a while wandering around before realizing the exit to enter the level was right in front of me, and a bunch of upgrades to get as you progress through the game. So, overall, roguelike mode is very, very good, and so are the scenarios that it presents to you. There are a couple of achievements for completing these scenarios under varying conditions, but each of them are there to just be replayed and to enjoy, which I have been over the last couple of days for sure.
Can I throw the chair? I can throw the stool.
And if you ever get bored of the vanilla scenarios and arenas that you're fighting in, there are modifiers you can turn on to allow people to have loads of guns or certain weapons or enable super strength. There's a load to play around with here, and in each of the levels that you're in, you're also given access to basically godlike abilities. You can smite people, you can run very fast in the roguelite mode, and you can use a shockwave, which is my favorite because it sends everybody flying.
Oh, I'm gonna shockwave these people. How'd I use it again? There we go. Play this.
You earn these by beating people up, as you do for most of the things you unlock in this game, and they're really satisfying to use. These, coupled with the modifiers you can turn on before each level, give each fight an hour of replayability. And overall, I'm very happy with it. If you're looking for an alternative to maybe Swordsman or Drunken Bar Fight that is a bit more voxel based but a bit more brutal, this is a good shout for sure. It's got a lot of locations, a very in-depth roguelite mode for what I was expecting from it, an arena mode for you to play around with, and genuinely just a lot of brutal combat here to have a lot of fun with, as it runs very smoothly on the PSVR2 headset.
Shockwave time, let's go.
Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Are you going to pick up Paint the Town Red VR, or are you going to wait for Cube at the end of this week? I will have my review of Cube coming out later on, closer to its actual release date. I'm very excited for it. I've got my hands on it for the last couple of days now, so my lips are sealed for now, but they won't be as we're moving forward closer to the date, so I'll see you then. Thank you to our patrons, Luke Bentley, Ace Gamer, and Hazeeb Mirza. You guys help keep the channel running, help keep the lights on, and I really do appreciate that. It's because of you guys that I can do what I do. Anyway, thank you all for watching once again, and I hope to see you all in the next video.